Today, our podcast of Know-How is about not learning, but appreciating art, appreciating creativity. We believe learning is not enough without using our, let's say, imagination, creativity, focusing on art, because I believe psychology and art is the same, like it is one coin with different faces. Our guest of today is a very dear friend and also very well known on the art circle, Mrs. Mojan. So, morning, Morgan.
Good morning, Haifa.
How are you today?
I'm fine. Beautiful day.
Yes.
I'm grateful.
Okay, thank you. Mojan, I would like to ask you about art. A lot of people, when they look at art, they look at a beautiful piece. Some of them, they think it is only decoration, but it has more. How can you guide people to see more than the obvious, more than the decorative? What do we do?
I think if the artists are showing their internal and their private and their histories and their mysteries. So art is revealing what's happening within them. So basically, sometimes that can be, and for me, an artist is like a narrator, is a storyteller, and they are very much in touch with what's happening in their society at the time. So we cannot say that art is always shown beautifully. Sometimes it is beautifully, sometimes it's not. There are a lot of Picasso's work that are probably very strong works, but they were not meant to be pretty. They were meant to wake us up about what's happening around us.
I like the word when you say story, it tells a story. Because you see, also in psychology, a lot of people, when they start to write about what they see themselves and what they see after there's an intervention. So in a story, you can relate more to the person. And also at the same time, this is an art. Some people are born with it, like you. Some people, they have to learn it. And this is one of our popular courses, is how to tell a story. So a storyteller is something that is common. And now it is also in marketing. They use it in a lot of domains, a lot of fields. My next question would be, when people look at the painting and they don't understand it, how do you guide them without telling them? What is your process? What is the skill you use in that?
So I start a conversation with them, and I try to understand how much do they know about the subject, about art, about a lot of information, according to their information. Because when you look at artworks, according to how much you know about the subject or the, art history, then you would do some reading. Some people have shorter readings, some people have medium readings, some people have longer readings. So what I do is I give them indications, but I also like them to work their imagination and try to discover. Sometimes I know, because I work very closely with the artist, I know what's inside and what is the message of the artist. But sometimes the artist prefers not to reveal everything, because sometimes it's, art is a therapy in a sense. It's a therapy. So sometimes we have to be careful about what we give out and not. Even sometimes title of artworks. I have noticed, I've been an art curator for 36 years. I started in Japan, then I continued in London, in Geneva 15 years, and I'm here in UAE since 2015. I even noticed the title you put in each artwork, if it has a negative connotation, people refuse to buy it. Because I'm an art curator. I'm organizing an art exhibition, helping the artist to be seen. So I have to be very careful, like a surgeon, and be careful about every information that I give out and I have to make sure everything is like a choreography. So the storytelling, it's within a limit.
No, I like what you said about you don't give it to them straight.
No.
You let them discover. That's also what we do in psychology. We don't give answer. Like some patient will come or a client will come and said, no, tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. No, my job is not to tell you what to do. My job is to help you to discover what is best for you.
And to show you the road.
And to show you the road.
So you can be independent.
Exactly. To be dependent on yourself. Okay. Mojan, I would like to know, when people look at the painting, how do you guide them without telling them what to see? Because everybody sees it differently. And you know more information because you know the artist, you know why he did it. So how do you guide them without telling them?
First of all, I talk to them and I try to get a bit of information about them, about how much they know about art history. If they are, some people are new. Some people come to exhibition for the first time or they come with their friends. Some people are professionals or they know more about art. Once I find out what is the level of understanding about the subject, about art history, then accordingly I talk to them. But a lot of time I also have to be very careful about what I say and what I don't say. A lot of time, artists, like any human being, show their vulnerability, their anger, their grief, their sadness. So I'm trying to protect them, and I'm trying not to portray too much of reality of what's going on in the painting to the viewer. Because you want people to use their imagination. So I'm sort of guiding them without guiding them. I give them some indication about the art pieces without being too direct. And also I have to be careful even titling the art pieces. Like I've noticed in the experience I've had in the years that I have been working as a curator, 3 years in Japan, I was 10 years in London, and I was 15 years in Switzerland, and I'm in UAE since 2015. Even titling an art piece, if it has a negative connotation, some people, even if they like it, but they will not buy the art. So you have to be very careful about everything you put, everything you show, everything you say. So I'm like a choreographer and a storyteller working with the artist, because it's the artist that is real storyteller. I'm just like a chef d'orchestre.
Yeah. You see, this is a similarity, because when people come for coaching, they expect answers. They come with a problem and they want you as a coach or as a psychologist to solve it for them, which is not what is happening in reality, because you are helping them to understand, to know what is their potential and to solve it themselves, So in that respect, yes, you don't give ready answers.
No.
Okay. And my next question would be, like, when you go, when I go to art galleries and I see something, some curator, like, very good, they would make me see the thing that is not visible to the eye. Like, I did not understand or it did not attract my attention. How do you do that? How do you make your audience see the invisible in an artwork?
There are informations that I do share. People do like, I keep going back to the same word. People like storytellings. I always make, because I know the artists. We have spoken, and I spend years to get to know the artists more and to see how they're evolving in their careers. I follow them up, and since I know their stories and I know how from where they started, where they're going, and all their journey. This journey is an important part of their art and artist's life and the curator. So once I know the artist, I know the steps by step where they're trying to go or what to do. And I just I give indications. In French, they call it indice. I give indications it's just like a puzzle. So, like I try to help the viewers to find their own understanding from the artwork. There's a famous Emirati artist who said to another artist I was showing in an exhibition, in a solo show, he said, don't give too much information. Let people use their imagination. And I think that's important in your job.
Yeah, very, very much so, because you see, a lot of things people say that not reflect them. What they say because they believe that this is what they should say. But when you dig deeper, this is not the real thing. There is a belief behind it that is maybe not the correct belief. So for them to discover the hidden things that really limited their thinking is very important. As you said, it is a hint, it is a story, maybe it could be anything, but this is the key for them, or trigger them to know what is really inside them, inside their feeling. Also, I have noticed sometimes, like, you go to a gallery and you see a painting that really upsets you. And say, for example, I have seen it in front of me, it's telling the curator, what is this? Why you bring us to this? This is very ugly. This is not a very nice painting. So how do you handle this?
Actually, I'm like, I understand. It's like a lot of time people have, because of what's going inside them and their psychological state, if they're not happy, if they've had an event with the family or their children, they reflect it on the artworks because they're seeing something that in French is a word called upsets them, bouleverser. Bouleversement is this idea of making you, like react. So yes, maybe that person sees it as ugly, but maybe somebody else doesn't see ugly. I try not to you have to be patient. Like, I think it's your profession is the same thing. You have to be patient and you have to listen to people. I would let that person talk about why they think this is ugly. Then I bring them gently to the points that are not ugly and they are beautiful, like the colors, the way the artist has executed the work. So there's ways of handling anger when people are not happy with the subjects.
You see, same thing, like sometimes I notice that when you push them out of comfort zone, they get irritated. And they would ask, why you are asking this question? Why you are making me angry? But, by doing that, by being out of your comfort zone, you start to reflect. And you start, then, by a few questions, for example, they started to understand really what has upset them. Is this what I said? Or it is something else?
Very interesting.
Yeah, and then once they realize this, the change started to happen.
But they need to find out why they're angry.
Exactly.
And what is in this painting that makes you angry?
Exactly.
Why is it that you don't like it?
Exactly.
So it's all coming from within.
Definitely. There is, I'm sure when you look into a painting or somebody look at the painting, there is a small thing that really change your perspective about the painting. Have you noticed that in people?
Yes. I think people need hope. I think people need strength. I think everyone, we gradually, like I'm 66, but there were realities in life that I discovered very late in life. According to how people live and their condition, they change and they evolve and they see things differently. The maturity comes at different levels. So, like for me, I have a lot of art. I'm an art collector at the same time that I'm a curator. I have a big collection at home. There is one artist who's a modern artist, and he passed away 50 years ago. I can look at his work every day, and there are sadness in his work. There are difficult points, but he has showed it with such a beauty that even though it's like with the syrup, sweet syrup, he passes the word or the message with a sweetness. There is the way he executed, the simplicity of his work teaches me to look deeper. You never stop learning.
That is true. And I think also situation doesn't change. Like when you look at, you said, you look at the painting, although it is sad, but you can see the beauty in it. Maybe sometimes ago, you do not see the beauty.
Exactly.
So the painting is the same. Situation is the same.
Exactly.
It is the way, it is our perspective that change.
Yes.
And change our look to the, the facts, to the events, to the paintings. So it is always good to remember that things change when we change.
And also, Haifa, when you buy an artwork, you're buying dreams. You're buying beauty for some. You buy, you are supporting an artist more than anything else. When I buy an art piece, and I work with a lot of young artists, I'm supporting a young artist to have more time to do more paintings. And I think paintings are like hopes. I think artists, creative people, they give us oxygen. They give us another little opening that we can look at things differently.
And also, I noticed like now it is the trend. Everybody wants to purchase art, It is like a consumption. And you don't buy the art for the sake of art, You buy art because now it is the trend. People talk about, I wanted to know, how can you make people not to consume as much as to appreciate, to slow down, look at the painting, evaluate it, and then before you buy it. So what do you do?
I think the best is to train yourself and educate yourself. I go to museums, you go to the art galleries, you learn. And the more you see art, the more your eyes get trained, the more you know. When you see something, when you buy an art piece, that means that art has touched you, touched your heart. And that's probably the right choice. Even when you see something in an exhibition that you like to buy, go back to the exhibition next day and see how is your feeling about that. Go and look at it twice. And I think, training yourself, educating yourself. Here in UAE, in Dubai, we have Jamil Art Center, we have Shara Foundation in Al Circle, we have in Abu Dhabi, we have Louvre Abu Dhabi. We have a lot of places where you can just go, and it's not a commercial, it's museums. So you can train yourself. You can look at art books, art history books. You can watch films about art. And the most beautiful art for me is nature. Look at nature and you learn. You become humble when you look at nature.
Yeah, because when you look at nature, you are not in a hurry. You are not in a hurry to buy it because you cannot buy it.
No.
So I think that is the trick. Even like in psychology, the trick is not to get, more information. It is to pause, to reflect, and to think about it. Like you don't take anything as face value. You have to stop, think, does it make sense? Doesn't make sense? What does it trigger on me? Like when you walk in nature,
And you buy something because you really felt for it.
Yeah.
Not because your friend and neighbor and colleague has bought it.
Yeah.
There's no competition here.
Exactly.
It's just you're doing something. And also, for me, it's a bit shocking when people come to buy art pieces and they say, oh, my furniture, this color.
Yeah.
So I want something that matches my furniture. If I ever tell the artist this, they would really feel disappointed and sad, because they have put their heart in there and somebody's trying to match that art piece that has been done with so much love or with a lot of effort to match their furniture. That's very sad.
You must be very patient.
Yes.
To accept all this and to go with it. And now my last question, I'm sorry I took a lot of your time. My last question is when people look at painting and they have disagreement, like I will look at it and say, I think the artist is trying to say this, and the other person is saying no. I think he's saying that. So everybody or each one is looking at it from different lens. How do you bring them together? What do you do?
You just listen to everyone, let them explain and express themselves, and then like you need to, like a mother. We are like mothers to the world.
Okay.
You in your profession and I in what I do. I'm nurturing the artists and I'm curating a show. I'm organizing everything. But as you said, 4 or 5 people have different views.
Yes.
Some people like certain food. Some people don't like it. But it doesn't mean this food is not good. You have to respect people for their differences. And I think that's also the beauty of humanity or us, because we have different point of view. We have lived different experiences. Some people have traveled, some people haven't. So I listen to everyone and then I try to give point. You need to encourage people, always encourage people. So I listen to your point of view, to a few people who are talking about the same piece, but then I also give more indication and ideas, and I try to pass on the word and the message of the artist. So I'm like a judge. I listen, but I try to keep everybody respected and harmony. The harmony is important.
Yeah, because you have to respect their values. They come from different values, from different experience. So they see it from different lens.
Exactly. Exactly.
And this is what happens in psychology. Like you do not impose yourself or your belief on your client. You have to respect their values, their background, and then you try as much as possible to talk the same language.
We're walking on the same journey.
Yeah,
but the thing is, this is a very delicate work that you do, that you listen, after a while that you get to know them, but you need to help them to walk on that journey alone eventually.
Definitely.
It's a beautiful job, and I'm really happy that I was invited to participate in this beautiful podcast.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. And we will be together to see more art, because also this is my passion.
Inshallah.
And good luck.
Thank you very much.
Today, it was very interesting for me, and I'm sure it will be interesting for you once you see it. Our interview with Moujgan, we have learned a lot, and I think learning is both ways. We learn about art, and we discuss also what is psychology, how is it related. We're looking forward to see you in another session with another interesting person. My guest today was Moujgan, and she is a very well-known curator and very interesting. She has a lot of stories. If we have time, we would go more and more and more. This is Haifa Al-Mubarak from Nowhow, and looking forward to see you in other sessions.